Good afternoon. Welcome to the Bridgeton Area Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Tony Stanzione, Executive Director of the Cumberland Development Corporation and the Bridgeton Area Chamber of Commerce. I also want to mention the Cumberland Development Corporation Board of Directors. Mike Vizard is the Mayor of Commercial Township, and he is the Vice Chair of the CDC. He's not here yet, so you can welcome Mike when he gets here. The other CDC towns are Deerfield, Hopewell, Lawrence, Shiloh, Stoke Creek, and Upper Deerfield. So we welcome all of those who are attending. Several of those are speakers today, so I'm not going to introduce them at this time. And it's my pleasure to welcome everyone and to introduce Carol Musso, Chairwoman of the Bridgeton Area Chamber of Commerce and a member of the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Tony. At this time, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today as we present the area mayor's outlook for economic development. I'm also going to introduce Bill Whalen. Bill is our chamber board member, chair of Strategic Planning Committee, who's also our past chairperson, and vice chair of Government, Banking, and Retail Support for Ocean First. So Bill, could I ask you to come up and do the invocation of flag salute, please?
So why don't we start with the flag salute if everyone would stand. Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just bow your heads for a moment. Let us pray. Dear Lord, as Christians joyously celebrate the resurrection, we pray that across all our traditions and beliefs held within our community, that we may unite in peace and in love always. Bless us with courage, patience, and wisdom, that we may work for the good of each other. Bless our leaders in government and civic life to do what is best for all, and especially bless those who will speak to us today. We pray we are all good stewards of all you provide, and that we fairly and justly work within our families and with all our brothers and sisters in service to you. Lord, we ask your blessing upon this food we're about to eat through Christ our Lord. Amen.
And at this time, I welcome our speakers today who give their time to serve their communities as elected officials. We have Mayor Elmer Kelly of the City of Bridgeton. We have Mayor Paul Ritter III, Mayor of Hopewell Township. Deputy Mayor Skip Bowman of Lawrence Township. We have Mayor Jim Crilly of Upper Deerfield Township. We look forward to hearing about existing businesses, expansions, and possible new businesses in development with this year and beyond. With our focus today on local economic development, I'm pleased to welcome others who are here today on their busy schedule, whose careers include working to improve our area's economic. Tony Stanzione, who opened up the meeting, who has served as the Executive Director of CDC for 23 years, and who also serves as the Chamber's Executive Director. Kim Ayers, who has a wealth of experience in our community and economic development and currently serves as Senior Vice President for Economic Development for the Authority, which is also Cumberland County Government's Economic Development Agency. Kevin Rebello, who leads Bridgeton Economic Development Office and serves as the city's business administrator. Roy Spaltor, Upper Deerfield Township Clerk, Administrator, and Economic Development Director. Sandy Albrecht. Sandy's the chairwoman of the Bridgeton Main Street Association. We appreciate the sponsorship of CDC, the Chamber, and Cumberland Mutual of Quinn Broadcasting Live today, as our meeting will make it available also after the meeting on channel 22 on Quinn Broadcasting Facebook page. I'm going to introduce our sponsor, Spotlight. Thanks to the meeting Spotlight, Today we have Cumberland County Board of Commissioners. We want to thank the commissioners and the county administration for the support of the chamber and the business community. I welcome my fellow county commissioners who have joined us today. Director of the Board of Commissioners, Darlene Barber. I also have Celeste Riley, our Cumberland County Clerk. Matt Pisarski, our Director of Planning for Cumberland County. And also Christy DiLeonardo. Christy's our Business Service Director, Cumberland County Workforce Development Department, Bridgeton Area Chamber, Board Member, and Moderator today for today's development discussion. I'm going to ask our Director, Darlene Barber, if she would come up and do a 5-minute presentation for being our sponsor.
Morning, everybody. Morning. It's still morning. Nope, sorry, talk about afternoon. Carol just gave me 2 more minutes, so that's really nice of her. I want to welcome everybody and say hello to everybody from Bridgeton Area Chamber of Commerce. I think we have 2 other commissioners that may join us during presentation, and Carol can introduce them when they come up. I wanted to just talk about 2 positive initiatives that we're working on here in the county that will affect all of you, as well as our other chamber areas in the county. One is our 911 upgrade. And I know we've talked a lot about that. We've talked a lot about how that's happening, and it's going to go. Well, it's going. Yesterday, we did have a failure in our 911 center. It was a router from Verizon, a Verizon router. We're working now on the making sure that we have like a second person or a second plan of action if that happens again. We were able to remove a router and start that back up in about 15 minutes. So we did as much as we could do, and then the outlying areas that were not covered were covered by emergency vehicles. So we're very proud of that, and very proud of that effort that happened yesterday, and we'll continue to make that work. We're about 85% ready to go up with the new 911 system. Right now, as everybody would understand, we're waiting on the state to do an upgrade that they need to do, and we're to finish our upgrade. The radios are in. Most of the radios are in. The county purchased radios for every city emergency management area, as well as firefighters, especially our volunteer firefighters, so that we can have everybody on the same system. My hope is that by June or July, everything is up and running. If our state gets their part up and running. Second thing I want to talk about is broadband. These 2 initiatives this initiative is running through the authority, and they meet weekly. The plan is to have our own loop here in Cumberland County that will be tied together in Salem County, and then it will loop all the way through from the east to the west area of our state. So that's a big initiative. We're funding a lot of that through our ARPA money. So your tax dollars are at work, and that's moving forward in an expeditious way. We want to get that done as soon as we can. Finally, I just want to give everybody one note that I got yesterday, and if you have friends that are Ukrainian, or if you're aware of any churches in your area that have Ukrainian people with them, the Department of Homeland Security yesterday posted the Federal Register notice on TPS for Ukraine. Application process opened today, April 19th, and it was expanded to Ukrainians present in the United States as of April 11th. So if you know of anybody that is trying to stay in the United States to avoid the conflict, or they have family that are here, that's what the TPS is. It gives them the opportunity to stay and stay away from the conflict. So I'll be happy to send that out in an email form for Jimmy and get that out to everybody. So thank you again. Enjoy your lunch.
In keeping with our economic development theme today, we have an update from Lori Carlin, who represents Atlantic City Electric on clean energy programs that can help our businesses. So at this time, I'm going to ask Lori if she would come up.
Carol didn't know there was a slight change in the agenda. That happens every meeting. So Laurie is not with Atlantic Electric, but with the state of New Jersey, correct? And is the Atlantic Electric representative here today yet? Okay, so Laurie's going to get Atlantic Electric's time.
All right. Good afternoon, and thank you. So I am with New Jersey's Clean Energy Program, and what I represent are all things to get us 100% clean energy by 2050. And I've been to a few meetings at Bridgeton and Gloucester County, and what's on the top of the list is this federal stimulus money that came into New Jersey last fall, about $180 million worth of it. It's COVID money to help improve indoor air quality as well as water conservation in small businesses as well as schools. All the HVAC money for schools is eaten up right now for the whole state of New Jersey. For schools, as long as they're public schools, and many in your area have taken advantage of the HVAC on the front end, because I was fortunate to get in front of superintendents and BAs. But there is still non-compliant plumbing applications that are available. And it's all about water conservation, whether it's the toilets, the aerators, commercial dishwashers. The flip side of that, which is this little brochure I have with me, this is for women and minority-owned small business owners as well, the federal stimulus. It's called School and Small Business. They have to be certified women and or minority-owned small businesses in the state of New Jersey. They have to have a real brick-and-mortar commercial establishment. Home-based businesses don't qualify, unfortunately. However, Atlantic City Electric does have qualifications for clean energy programs for small businesses and home-based businesses that may not fall under here. So I have my business cards. I would love to have yours. You know, the chamber has shot emails out with this brochure. It's a simple application to get in the pipeline. A small business owner can get up to $500,000. 75% of the project, up to $500 grand, to improve their indoor air quality. That's replacing HVAC, that's installing new HVAC, as well as the water conservation. My other clean energy hat has been working on local government energy audits. Many of the mayors in the room and business administrators have heard from me. That's still open for a free energy audit of any of your municipal buildings. Also, New Jersey Clean Energy Program offers new construction, residential as well as commercial new construction grants. They also offer gut rehabs. I live east from here in the Marmora Ocean City area. For instance, the Ocean City Tabernacle just gut rehab their entire sanctuary. They have the opportunity to get money back from New Jersey Clean Energy Program because they installed high efficiency HVAC, lighting. Just think of anything that we're trying to do to conserve. I will plug Atlantic City Electric, South Jersey Gas. They do offer programs called Direct Install that can help small businesses and homeowners. It can be as simple as motion detectors on your lights, you know, high efficiency thermostats. It really does matter in the long run to reduce our carbon footprint. And I welcome this last minute presentation. Thank you.
We're going to do a few chamber announcements. At this time, I would like to ask Stephanie McGee if she would come up and make the announcements. Stephanie's our membership committee co-chair, chamber board member, and she also represents Homeland Insurance.
Hello everyone, I'd like to introduce two of our new chamber members who are here today. A whiskey array, Catherine Hardy, has a love of restoring historic homes. She is the owner of short-term rentals known as a whiskey array in Rhodestown in Hopewell Township. I'd like to call up Catherine. We'd like to welcome her so she can introduce herself. and your business. We welcome you to the chamber.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Thank you for including me. I have 2 short-term rental properties, one in Bridgeton, one in Hopewell, and they're both named after my dog, Whiskey, not Unfortunately, yeah, I had a large Great Dane named Whiskey, who I love dearly. Some of you who live in the area probably have seen me walking him up and down Roadstown, Greenwich Road. Anyway, I grew up here. I graduated Christian High School in 1986, and I raised 2 children out in Los Angeles for 25 years. I still have a business interest out there. And when my children were very little, we would come out to visit my mother, who was living in senior housing, and we would have to stay in hotels out in Vineland. And it was fun. I mean, they're wonderful. But my children really didn't get the feel of what it was like to grow up, for me, in Cumberland County. And that was just unfortunate, but there wasn't anything like a short-term rental. And now, 90% of my clients come, they're either adults who have moved out of the area and they come back with their grandchildren to spend time with their parents and family, and they rent my houses and they have, they boil crabs, they make they just do the things that we all did growing up, and it gives these families who don't live here all the time a real taste of what it's like to be here. And that just really makes my heart. I love being able to offer that. And I also have a lot of sunbirds who have moved to Florida, and they come back to visit their grandchildren and adult children when they stay at my houses, and they have family barbecues, and it's nice. And I'm on my 2nd year, and I have people who are repeating and coming back with the same 4 or 5 bookings every summer. And just really quick Thanksgiving story last year. I had a family come in from the area. They were 3 generations. They had someone, a father diagnosed with, unfortunately, something terminal. And they rallied 4 or 5 siblings who don't live in the area. They all came, rented the houses. I had Blackbird Local cater. I had Cherylane Farms, obviously Century Bakery. And we all rallied and we got dinner for them. And at the last minute, they had another change where they ended up having to cook at my house. So we had multi-generational, and it made me feel really good that we're able to provide that on this end of the county, and it gives everybody a little glimpse of what it was like to grow up here and live in our county. And yeah, so that's me. Thank you so much.
I'd also like to welcome Ritter Pass. Promotes overall health, mental, physical, and spiritual, and wellness in underserved urban communities. This includes providing tools to subvert the efforts of adverse childhood experiences across the lifespan. Dr. Amanda Mountaton is the Executive Director of Ritter Pass. Amanda, please come up and introduce yourself and talk about
Good morning, everyone. Actually, no, I was going to do something. So I'm Dr. Mountaton, born and raised in Vineland, New Jersey. Graduated from Vineland High School. I went away to the University of Massachusetts and started learning about social justice and mental health deserts, and was surprised that my community of Cumberland County was listed as a mental health desert. So that's basically an area where people are not able to get consistent mental health services. It does not mean that we don't have psychologists, therapists, social workers here, but on average, our clients see about 3 or 4 different health providers over the course of a year. And so when you are doing mental health, it's important to develop a relationship and to be consistent in order to promote change. So Ritter Pass has decided to come back. I currently work as the school psychologist at Bridgeton High School. I've been there for about 13 years. But I also do private practice in Hamilton, up in North Jersey. Most of my clients come from Princeton, Ewing, and are able to get services easily. Not so much with my kids at Bridgeton High School. And so the Lord laid it on my heart to come back to where I'm from. So we are currently looking for a brick and mortar building in the area of Bridgeton, because Bridgeton has my heart. Even though I graduated from Vineland, I'm a bulldog for life. My kids always tell me that. So we're looking to bring back support in Bridgeton. Adverse childhood experiences, as you guys may have known, is called ACEs. It is actually a study that has been conducted that your experiences when you are a young child will actually promote what's going to happen to you when you're older. So you have a higher chance of going to jail, a higher chance of myocardial infarctions or heart attacks, just because you were raised in an impoverished community. So we as Ritter Pass would like to come back, provide consistent services, and also reduce the stigma in brown and black communities of getting those services. Another thing that we're doing, we do a lot of workshops, because workshops kind of trick people into mental health. You are not seeing a psychologist laying on a couch. We are working together. We're doing a project. This Saturday, we will be speaking at the Robert Wood Johnson Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, working with those parents. We also work with Glory Tabernacle to do something called worship meditation, where we actually do a church service where licensed psychologists and social workers are placed in the back. And if you are provoked during the worship service, you can go out and also get free services for mental health. My community coordinator, Loretta Cook, is here. We're going to be sending her out to speak to people, because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to work with people who are already doing things. You guys are doing good things in this community, and we just want to be a part of it and take it to another level. Thank you.
Welcome to the new members. Please contact the Chamber office if you're interested in membership or to get information, and apply for membership online at www.cumberlandgroves.com/join.
And before I introduce our next speaker, I just want to say Jody Harada, who just walked in. Jody's our county administrator. She's a past board member, and she was a past chamber chairwoman. So, welcome, Jody. At this time, I'm going to ask if Christy DiLeonardo will come up to give an update on the golf tournament.
Good afternoon, everyone. So who's ready for some fun on July 13th? Anybody? Not yet. So right on your table, if you would take a look at it, we are having our 28th annual golf tournament. It is on a Wednesday. It's at Running Deer. Registration begins at 7:30 and golf begins at 8:30. So if you are interested, we already have some fabulous people that have signed up to sponsor. And most recently, we have a gold sponsor, which is Cumberland Mutual. So I want to thank Cumberland Mutual. Thank you so much, Mayor. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And also, you'll see on the form that there's a whole bunch of other sponsors that have donated at least $300 or more to the golf tournament. This is our largest fundraiser of the year, so we hope that you all will come out and either join us for golf or at least sponsor a tea, anything. But it's a great day, and I have to just share one story, if that's okay. So my story was last year. I thought I was all dressed, I'm ready to go and play golf, and then I had a bite of the breakfast sandwich, and there was a yellow egg yolk, of course, in the middle. And the yellow egg yolk just splattered all over myself and my partner. So that wasn't fun, but it was a a funny day to watch. So, but anyway, we hope you all will come out. So thank you very much. And Carol, back to you.
Thank you, Christy. Now I'm going to introduce Patricia Munihan. She's our Chamber Education Programs Committee Woman and Assistant Director for Business Development, Career Technical Education Division at Broward College of South Jersey.
Thank you, Carol. So I just want to start out first by thanking everyone who went into planning today and thank our speakers for coming today and sharing. As you know, Bridgeton and the surrounding area all work together, so it's great to hear what's going on throughout the county. I also want to share with you some of our upcoming events. You'll have also a flyer on your table that is our next meeting, which will be May 17th noon. And it's what's happening at the Rutgers Food Innovation Center to boost the economy. We're actually going to have that meeting right there at the Food Innovation Center over on Broad Street in Bridgeton. And Melanie O'Neill and Craig Peck of the Innovation Center will be our presenters that day. All of these events, you of course can go to our CumberlandGroves.com website and register under events. Also on May 26th, the Chamber Events Committee will be hosting a social media workshop. That's a free event that will be funded through the NJBIA grant. Little social networking, and you can get LinkedIn with each other and learn about LinkedIn that afternoon. That'll be from 2 to 5 on that date, and I think we're still finalizing the location, but that should be up on the website, hopefully by the end of the week. Then on Tuesday, June 21st, we're going to actually change it up a little and do a breakfast networking meeting, making our businesses and communities safe. The speakers that day will include police and criminal justice leaders from the county. We're also going to get an update on county government projects from Darlene Barber on that day, so I hope that's not a surprise for you today, Darlene. Just let you know. All right, that meeting is going to be held at the Green Olive, and we're going to start that one again at 8:30 a.m. So put that one in your calendars. All right, last but not least, I'm going to put out there, we have everything up on the website for our 3rd annual Canines and Wines Walk. That benefits our Canine unit for the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department, so if you're looking to sponsor or to register, that information is available now on the website. So don't forget, you can sign up on all of those on the events at the CumberlandGroves.com. All right, and so I'm going to actually ask Christy to come back up, and she is going to facilitate our speakers today. So, Christy?
Thank you, Patricia. Gentlemen, would you all please come up and take your seats right over here so that we can begin our program that I know everyone has been anxiously waiting. So if you'll just come and join us up here at this beautiful table. So as they're coming up, I want to just thank them all for sharing their outlooks on economic development within their communities, as well as in our region. And this includes highlighting some of the existing businesses that are within their community. After a slowdown in growth and expansion, our area is experiencing renewed interest, the area which includes industrial. This also will include commercial, agricultural, and residential projects, both those that are ready to go and an interest from prospects looking to expand their businesses here. We are seeing that renewed activity here at the Cumberland County Workforce Development Office, which is the office that I'm housed out of, and we are frankly being inundated with new business that are growing and expanding, which is frankly a good thing, but it's very difficult, obviously, in the climate that we live in today, finding individuals that are wanting to get back to work. So that's the challenge on our end. But that being said, I'm going to introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker is Mayor Albert Kelly of Bridgeton. He has been the mayor since July 1st of 2010. He's the founder and president CEO of Gateway Community Action Partnership. He has served as president on the New Jersey League of Municipalities and also served as president of the New Jersey Urban Mayors Association. Mayor Kelly also serves as chaplain for both Inspira Health and the Bridgeton Police Department. He is also first elder at Bethany SDA Church. He is a 2001 founding member of Leadership Cumberland County. That I did not know. Albert is a member of the Board of Directors of the Chamber and serves on the Board of Directors of the Authority, formerly Cumberland County Improvement Authority. Mayor Kelly has 4 daughters, Lindsay, Aisha, Rachel, and Sarah. Please welcome Mayor Albert Kelly.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It's so good to be here. It's so good to be here to share some success stories that we're having in the great city of Bridgeton. I do say the great city of Bridgeton. I'm not shy about saying that because great things are happening, not because of me, but because of the community leaders such as yourself and our co-workers, our city council members, but also I must introduce the person who is the quarterback in our community economic development and our business within the city. That is Mr. Kevin Redevelopment. I asked him to come to give you the highlights of what's happening in our great city, and I'm going to act as Vanna White. Now, why do you laugh? To share some visuals of what we're doing in the great city of Bridgeton. I believe what the Bible says, by the blessing of the upright, a city is exalted. And that's why I call it the great city of Bridgeton, because of people like you who are doing what you do. And it makes our city look great. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Redevelopment.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. I think, as the mayor said, and Christy alluded to, it is a tough climate, but I think we have some interesting opportunities coming out of the pandemic on this side. In the city of Bridgeton, we've been fortunate enough to have a great deal of interest from the new cannabis industry. Now, I know communities differ. Some communities have opted in, and some communities have opted out. We have opted in, and aside from what anyone might think about cannabis as something they use recreationally or medicinally, we looked at it initially as an opportunity for growth and expansion. And toward that end, many of you are familiar with the old Port Authority site in Bridgeton. Over the past 12 to 15 months, we were fortunate enough to have a company, Growtech, come in. They're working with Acreage Holding, and they have acquired that site. They will be renovating the 83,000 square foot warehouse on that site, which is exciting because that site has been vacant and just sitting there for the better part of 2 decades. That particular facility should bring in several dozen jobs when it's fully up and operational. And of course, from a municipal and a rateable standpoint, they have the transfer tax. So we're looking forward to seeing that get started when we get up and running. Near Rutgers Food Innovation Center, we have designated a company, Blue Element, as the conditional developer there. And with cannabis, it's been an interesting opportunity because we have been able to use the tools of redevelopment. Many of you are familiar with the old Ferrocute site. While that warehouse, we're still working on getting that redeveloped. We have a company that is coming in toward the front end, and all three, near Rutgers, the port, and the old Ferrocute site, are going to be focused on cannabis. So we're really very excited about that. But that doesn't match some of the growth that we're going to see from some of our mainstays. Cumberland Dairy has been a company in the city of Bridgeton going back to the 30s, and we have a warm affection for Cumberland Dairy. They are undertaking a 4-phase expansion at this point, and we've been honored to be able to work with Cumberland Dairy to assemble the parcels that they need around there, and again, using the tools of redevelopment and a redevelopment plan to give them what they need in terms of a framework to do their expansion. that's going forward. I think Christy alluded to the challenge with employees. And speaking with Cumberland Dairy, they will attest to that finding people who are willing to work and then of course getting them the training is hitting every single industry. Another local company, Shoreline, is undertaking a very large expansion down across from Southwood State Prison. They're in the process now of completing all of their site planning approvals and should be pushing dirt around later this year. With all of the incoming, the expansions and the incoming companies, the other thing that, of course, you have to give thought to is housing. And the Phoenix redevelopment area in Bridgeton's south side, we've got 2 development projects coming in. One developer coming out of Pennsylvania will be building 174 townhouse units in 2 phases. And behind that, Eastern Pacific, who last year completed the River Grove project, will be building 140 units and a separate 55 and over 72 unit facility. So with that, again, you know, you're sort of balancing the growth in industry and the growth in jobs with also some additional housing. We've focused a great deal on repurposing land and repurposing buildings within the city. At 6.2 square miles, you can imagine it's a challenge, you know, to find the space that you need. So a lot of the focus is how do we repurpose what we have. We have to balance that, of course, with historic preservation, having the largest historic district by inventory in the state of New Jersey. So all of these things have been really very challenging, but coming out on this side of the pandemic, we feel fortunate to have that type of growth. Another company is Atlantic Renewables, who will be coming into the old ethanol site, again across from the Southwood State Prison, to repurpose that facility. The mayor and I will be meeting with them later today. And of course, I have to thank the county, Kim Ayers, and our partners at the county level, and our commissioners who really are very responsive to us, because as all of these new things come in, we've got to think about the infrastructure, whether it's active electric, water, sewer, and all of that framework that needs to be in place before we can move forward. So again, we're busy. It's a good kind of busy, and it's been a long time coming. So we are thankful. We appreciate all of your help and support, and look forward to the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor and Kevin. So what we're going to do at this point, so lunch is going to be served. This is a working lunch, just so that everybody's aware. And what we're going to do is we're going to, just because time is a little limited at this point, we're going to save all of the questions until the end, because there's a lot of exciting things that are happening around all the different towns. So we're going to save it at the end, and everybody's going to stay afterwards, so that should you have a question specifically for the mayor in Bridgeton or specifically for Homeland, they will be here to answer any of your questions. Okay. Our second speaker is Mayor Paul Ritter III. He is the mayor of Hopewell. He has been a member of the Hopewell Land Use Board. He is president and CEO of Cumberland Mutual, which I did mention earlier, so thank you once again. He serves on the board of directors of Century Savings Bank and the board of trustees of the Cumberland County Historical Society. Paul is a member of the Cumberland County and Hopewell Township Economic Development Committee. Mayor Ritter is a member of the Cumberland Development Corp as well as board of directors. Please welcome Mayor Paul Ritter.
Good afternoon. I'm glad everybody's being fed lunch, so I'm not holding you up from your lunch here. Before I get started, I thought it would be interesting to touch on the macroeconomic issues very briefly. because it sort of sets the stage as to where we are in Cumberland County and in Hopewell in particular. We're in a very unique time economically right now, across the country and here locally in Cumberland County. Right now we have the highest inflation in 40 years. Matter of fact, I was a pretty young man back then, that's a long time ago. 8.5%. It's not transitory. Because of the labor shortage that we're seeing at our place of work, and others are seeing too, this is now getting embedded in the salary structures. So that means this is going to be somewhat permanent. Where it came about is during the pandemic, in order to prevent a worse recession or economic issues, the Fed injected some money into the economy. And that's a very non-precise, difficult thing to do. So now, between that and supply chain, with the pandemic issues in China, we're seeing the inflation. The way it'll probably play out, as you saw back in the early 80s, is the Fed will have to restrict the money supply. That could cause potentially a recession. But long term, over the next few years, once we get over this rough spot, I see a lot of clear sailing for Cumberland County specifically, and also for the country as a whole. So this is just a rough patch as a result of the pandemic that we just have to get over. So that's my macro analysis. Now we'll get to the specifics of Hopewell Township. Hopewell Township is a rural community. That's in our DNA. And anybody that's been out to Hopewell knows the beautiful vistas, the Kansas River, the many farm fields and agricultural products that we have out in Hopewell Township. Our biggest selling point is not only our rural community, but the accessibility. To be on State Highway 49, or Shallow Pike as we like to call it, it gives us some connectivity to the other municipalities that we do a lot of shared services with, and also places like Wilmington, Delaware, Philadelphia, and the shore regions from Atlantic City down to Cape May. One of the building blocks of Hopewell is we have a very well-regarded school system. And a school system is essential for any community to be successful economically. That school system attracts other businesses in, because when you talk to other business owners and corporate executives, when they're relocating their families, one of their biggest concerns and questions is, what's the school system like? Also, as a business owner, I know that's the lifeblood of my company. As we see folks go through the school system, through elementary school, through the high schools, that's where we're recruiting from. We're recruiting local employees. They need to be up on technology, they need to be up on communication, and our school system serves us well. And we've hired a lot of great local employees at Cumberland Mutual. So besides the school, which is well regarded in Hopewell, we have a lot of land. When you get out of the urban areas into the countryside, land is usually less expensive. So we have plenty of land for companies to relocate, for companies to expand, and some of that land does have sewer and gas service. And one of the biggest things we're looking forward this year is to move ahead with broadband throughout the township. And of course, we're coordinating with the county, and we're looking at our options to get that implemented as quickly as possible. As a business owner, we realize that broadband is as critical as water or sewer as far as infrastructure to success. And what you're seeing with the economy is happening right here in our backyard. Hopewell has an opportunity to be a bedroom community for those that want the rural lifestyle, that can relocate and live in Hopewell, but yet work in the city, in Philadelphia, New York, and do jobs that lend themselves to being remote. My own company is going to a hybrid approach with our employees permanently, and we have great hopes that that will be giving everyone the best of both worlds. We have some collaboration in the office, but also the ability and flexibility that they can have a good work-life balance. One of the other big things about Hopewell Township that I like to think is we have two big magnets to bring people in from outside the area and bring people in to take advantage of the other businesses to do business with. And those are the Bridgeton Amish Market, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. They have great meats and great produce, and the Amish furniture, and it's a great experience there. And a matter of fact, I'm very happy to announce that on October 1st, we're going to reinstitute our Hopewell Day, which is a great festival. We usually bring 3,000 or 4,000 people in for the day, many of them from outside the area, so they get an opportunity to see Cumberland County, the greater Bridgeton area, and Hopewell, and hopefully return and do business with our many businesses there. So it's a time of bands and foods and crafts and good family fun. And I'm sure we'll have another great event this year with that. And I do want to mention to everyone that next year is Hopewell's 275th anniversary. Believe it or not, Hopewell is older than the country. I never really realized it. But, we're really looking forward to do a great Hopewell Day next year to commemorate that 275th. Also, when I say we have magnets to attract people in the township, we have a great restaurant called the Green Olive Restaurant, right in the center of town near the traffic light. And doing a great job, and we get people from all over the county and outside the county that come there for their meals. And they also have great events there. The Rotary Club meets there. And that's another great attraction. It's sort of like a taste of Italy when you see their building on the corner. It's very attractive. And that's another magnet along with the Amish market that brings people into Hopewell Township. Of course, as I said, Hopewell Township has that Shiloh Pike area. We have some great retail sites that are available. We have a former Family Dollar site that actually will be on an online auction on May the 3rd that has great parking, accessibility to 49. We have some other sites for retail that are right on the Shiloh Pike that we're really promoting and hoping to get additional businesses on the Pike with. I'd be remiss not to mention some of our new businesses that we've had come into the township recently. You've heard from Whiskey Array, and I'm very proud and happy to announce they're a Hopewell Township business. So congratulations for coming into Hopewell. Also, we have Dappers, which is a barber hairstylist that just opened up in the last few weeks. We have something called the Full Potato, which is a very interesting restaurant. It's baked potatoes with a variety of toppings. There's probably 12 different toppings we can get. And they just opened up also, so they'd be a nice treat for someone to stop in and try out. I mentioned our agricultural businesses. We have Hoffman Irrigation that just opened up in the last few months, right on 49. And finally, we have Dragon Village. Dragon Village, if you recall, a Dutch Neck Village from years ago that used to have a lot of festivals in the small shops. They're doing the same thing out there, and I noticed they've had some festivals with the spring and the summer and some of the holidays, so I encourage you to go out and visit. There's some great shops out there. I think you would really enjoy it. And we have our existing businesses. We have a wealth of nurseries. Years ago it was tomato farms and vegetable agriculture, and now you're seeing a changeover to more of the grain crops, but you're also seeing a lot of nurseries. A lot of nurseries came down a few years ago, some from North Jersey, and they've established themselves in Hopewell Township. I also do a shout out to Sunny Slope Farms. We all love their apples and peaches. Well, they're also in the wine business now, so I really recommend you go out and stop out and see the Catagianos of Sunny Slope. We still have our farm stands. They're right on the roadside along 49 and up on Minch's Corner. We're known for rock camp, sweet corn, and also mixers of fresh strawberries. So we still have those great crops beyond nursery that you can take advantage of Hopewell Township. And lastly, I want to mention our redevelopment zone. We have a phenomenal business park right next to the Amish market, right off of 49, so it has great accessibility if you're looking to get to Philly or Wilmington or the shore areas. It has sewer connections, and of course, with broadband connections, it's a great site for any businesses that want to locate there. It's nearly 100 acres of township-owned land, so we're looking to find businesses that would like to locate and partner up with us, and Hopewell is ready for business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ritter. Lots of exciting things happening. I love the fact that I know everybody that's here today, business retention is so critical, frankly, to our county, and it's nice to see that you all are out there and you are making sure that whatever the needs that need to be met, that you all are out there actively making sure that those needs are being met. That's a true testament to what you all do. So thank you. Our third speaker is Deputy Mayor Skip Bowman of Lawrence. Deputy Mayor Skip Bowman was a farmer of gladiolas for many, many years in Cedarville. He joined landscaping maintenance crew for the Delaware River Bay Authority and became maintenance manager at the Millville Airport. Skip has served on the Lawrence Township Committee for 43 years. Half that time as mayor. Pretty impressive. He has been a member of board member of the Cumberland Development Corp for 25 years, including service as chairman, and currently serving as treasurer. He is married to wife Barbara. They have 2 children, 2 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. Please welcome Deputy Mayor Skip Bowman.
Mine will be a little easier. Paul used up 3 of my minutes. Okay. I'm kind of honored to be here. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have come here to speak about Lawrence Township. But in the last years, Lawrence Township has come quite a ways. It's mainly, one of the reasons is our school system, which is one of the tops in the county, and I would say tops in the state of New Jersey. We have many young families moving to Lawrence for one reason, the school system. When our students graduate, the number of them that go on to college is really impressive now. It's a whole different demographic of people coming to our township. And our business growth, it's been a drain for years. Businesses leaving our township. But in the last years, they seem to be coming back. Just lately, we had a startup company, steel and metal supply company, supplying steel to local contractors. They're a startup company, and they bought the previous Pappas tomato facility. And they are going very strong. The other is the mushroom farm. When they first came to Cedarville, we were all worried about, you've been to Lancaster. You know what it's like up there. But it's a different, they're from China, and they grow mushrooms on logs. They're round, they look like a log. They put the spores in them. There is no odor. They are planting them in what they call hoop houses. And they came a few years ago, and they put up 10 houses. These are hoop houses. Now they have 70, and they're putting more and more every day. And they are growing by leaps and bounds. They hope to have at least 90 employees in a few more years. And they supply mushrooms all over the country. They're even supplying mushrooms to the Lancaster area. And that's the second business. And the other business is the hardware store, which was abandoned many years ago. A young man by the name of Gerard Riley purchased it and rehabbed it. It's almost an 8,000 square foot facility, supplying all the hardware you need. He's also put up a gun shop, which is very successful for sporting people. And also we have an ice cream place. Frosty ice cream. Paul comes down once a week to get them. He comes down for dinner, but he doesn't want the dinner, he wants the ice cream place. And then we have the largest on the east coast of the United States, a tomato grower. It has close to 500 acres of tomatoes, and now they have at least 200 to 300 employees there working. They're packing produce, tomatoes, and produce from all over the country. I believe they have at least 25 to 30 tractors and trailer loads of produce coming from Florida, Texas, Mexico every day. And they are very large. It's called Sand Sweet. And the other is we just rezoned in our township probably 700 to 800 acres. The intent of that used to be a Delaware Bay estate that was put in the 50s, and the lots were 25 foot, some are 50, some are only 40 foot, was before we had zoning. And we've been retaining that for many, many years, and we are practically own that whole section, which is 300 acres, and we're turning that into redevelopment. The other site is owned by Wipco mining company, which is probably 400 acres. And the reason we're doing that is we don't want valuable farmland eat up with solar. So we're going to offer that to solar companies for solar, so they'll stay off of our prime land for agriculture.
Okay.
I think that's enough.
Do you have anything else to say?
I think that's enough. I'll use the saying too much.
I find that hard to believe. So what we're going to do now is, oh, sure.
We're going to let you go back and
Except for Mayor Phil. So while lunch is being served, we do have our final speaker. He is the cleanup for the day, so thank you, Mayor. Our fourth speaker is Mayor Jim Crilly of Upper Deerfield. Mayor Crilly was born and raised in Western Pennsylvania. He has lived in New Jersey since 1965. He attended Penn State University and served in the Army National Guard for 8 years. His private sector career included several years with B.W. Stetson Company in Bridgeton. Jim is active with the Parish of the Holy Cross and the Catholic War Veterans. He served 6 years on the Cumberland Regional School Board. Mayor Crilly has also served on Upper Deerfield Township Committee for 25 years, and he has been mayor for 11 years. Jim has served on the Cumberland Development Corp Board of Directors for several years, including serving as an officer. And he is married to Donna, so please welcome Mayor Jim Crilly.
What Paul said they're going to celebrate 250-year anniversary make me sound like a kid, because this weekend Upper Deerfield is celebrating a 100-year anniversary. So, a big birthday party. It's going to be an all-day event beginning at noon on Saturday, and it's going to conclude with fireworks about 8:30 in the evening. There's going to be activities all day long. There's going to be band play. There's going to be activities for little kids, big kids, for everyone. So come on out as an invitation to everyone here to come out and enjoy. The weather's going to be great, so I look forward to seeing you. And I also have a bunch of these up here. If anyone would like to take one for their business, well, I would appreciate it. Now, with that said, I was hoping to get some ideas from Skip for our economic development, but he was pretty closed mouth today, so try to steal some information. Let me talk a little bit about Upper Deerfield, what's happening in Upper Deerfield, in addition to a 100-year anniversary celebration. We have had more interest from both commercial and residential developers in the last 6 months than probably we've had in the last 5 years. Just seems that things are really opening up, and they're opening up quickly. And Upper Deerfield is really positioned to move forward with both the commercial and the residential. Recently, we had 2 businesses move in. That would be Mavis Tire and T-Mobile. There's been quite a bit of residential development. We have 67 single-family units that are complete, and this would be down at the end of back in the municipal building down on the left-hand side, Seabrook East. Another 42 family units are being built out, and that would be near Button Mill Road there. And another 240 unit apartments have been given approval by the planning board. So we've got quite a bit of residential development. And we in Upper Deerfield realize and understand that you've got to have residential to support commercial goes hand in hand, back and forth. So we're trying to find that balance in Upper Deerfield. Let's talk a little bit about commercial. We recently, a couple of years ago, the residents by a large majority approved the liquor license for Upper Deerfield. And that would be 2 licenses for on-site consumption and 1 license for off-site consumption. We're in the process of rebidding those right now, and within the next probably 30, 60 days, we will have the bids out there to open up for 1 liquor license for on-site consumption, which will hopefully bring in a restaurant, and the other would be for an off-site consumption. That would be a liquor tax store. So that is something that's in the works and is going to be happening very shortly. Upper Deerfield is zoned at about 60% agriculture. And of that assessment, about 20% is farmland reserve. Upper Deerfield's heritage is agriculture. And as we move forward with economic development, we make sure that the agriculture becomes, is and will stay an important part of Upper Deerfield Township. We have a great master plan with basically the northern part of the township is agriculture, the central area is going to be commercial development, the southern area for residential. And it is serving us well. The 77 corridor is where the development in Upper Deerfield is happening. We have a lot of proposals for different things coming in there. We have in that area the 3 things that are lifeblood to economic development. That's water, sewer, and rail. We have about, let's see, roughly in that area, about, let's see, we total land up in that area for the redevelopment is about 1,060 acres. And that would be the area from Carl's Corner up to Big Oak Road along Route 77. And of that, about 850 acres are vacant. Years ago, we saw that as a county center, and a lot of things have changed in the last 10 or 15 years. The commercial and today looks like, a lot of warehousing and things like that. And this is where the interest that we see coming in right now. There are quite a few companies that are real close to finalizing their plans to come in, and we're going to see some real good rateables coming out of that. For years, one of the problems that held back our development in Upper Deerfield has been a situation with water. We were proactive. We have now put into place the water treatments necessary, and we have have that under control. So for the last 2 years, our water has been absolutely acceptable by all state standards. So we're poised right now. We're poised to move forward. There's a lot going to be happening in the very, very near future in Upper Deerfield from a development standpoint, and we're looking forward to it. We have a very, very strong and professional planning board who is making sure that as we do this development, that we keep our heritage in mind, and as we look forward, the future is under our control. So with that said, I want to thank you for the opportunity today to tell a little bit about what's happening in Upper Deerfield. And thank you for your support, and look forward to seeing everyone this Saturday. Thank you.
So once again, in the interest of time, anyone that may have any questions or comments, the mayors will be right here at the front table or the front area. Please feel free and come and speak with them afterwards after you have your lunch. And I think that some of these conversations have been truly uplifting from our area officials. I think it's been giving us, at least from my perspective up here, I think it gives us a little bit of hope, at least for the next month, several months, and frankly within the next several years. There's a lot of activity that's going on. And to paraphrase our Chambers and CPC's marketing theme, get ready as Cumberland grows. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
This has been a QVC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QVC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QVC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.